Dreams are the seeds of action. We'd all do well to remember that.
A single-handed race around the world.
I've already sent in my entry form.
Are you serious?
Alone on a boat for 9 months. You're either drunk or mad.
Well, we should have another drink so that we can rule out madness.
So I saw the film last night, not knowing anything about Donald Crowhurst, and I was just captivated from the start. When did you first hear about the story?
I saw the documentary 8 years ago on a Sunday afternoon in Los Angeles and staggered out of the theater, and I was like, how do I not know this story? And it just brought up a lot of very different emotions for me, and I wanted to write about that guy.
Why did you want to write about him? What was it that really captivated yourself?
I think, and perhaps foolishly, that I'm drawn to characters who are both good and bad and make mistakes and need our consideration and our forgiveness. And I found a lot about Donald, and because the logbooks exist and the tapes exist and you get to hear his voice, I found him to be someone I think I would have really enjoyed meeting. And writing the movie was the only way I was going to get to do that, in a way.
So obviously a lot of research and planning went into this, and reading the logbooks, you must feel a lot of emotions coming through that.
Yeah, I think there are things that we will never know about the decisions that he made, and obviously, you know, the version of this story that we're telling is not the first one. There's a poem, there's an opera, there's a book.
Wow.
There's a lot a lot that's been done on this, because there is something very iconic about a man alone at sea. I think for some of us, the literal sort of experience of being alone at sea is unfathomable, but I think we all can relate to it metaphorically, and there are times that we feel alone with the decision that we've made, and we have very conflicting feelings and a lot of shame.
Now, the story is big here in the UK. We're from the States, so what will people react? How will people react to the story over there?
You know, I think that there will be people who will wonder about a man who goes off and leaves his family. But one of the things that we were very aware of that is integral to the story is the Americans were going to the moon at the same time, and it's brought up a couple of times in the script. And so I think people will relate to the desire to do something remarkable. I think that is an American quality that came over here, you know, probably back when we were colonies. But so I think that part people will connect with it, that you want to do something outstanding with your life.
The casting is spot on with Colin Firth and Rachel Weisz. Did you have them in mind when you were writing?
Colin, very much so. Colin and I first met on the movie 5 years ago in Toronto, and I think he had seen an early draft of the script, and I was thrilled that he connected with the character in the same way that I did, that even though one can look at some of the decisions Donald makes and question them, in the end, the shame that he must have experienced, or the shame that we assume he experienced, is something very relatable. And if you watch the documentary, the compassion that Clare has for him is really beautiful. And Colin, I think, really hooked into that, that kind of love is a very rare thing.
Yeah. And what was it like working with James Marsh?
It was great. You know, James came over to the States very early on, and we started going through draft after draft and, you know, trying to thin it down. I tend to, I think, maybe write long, and really was conscious, again, about working inside the characters out. I sail, James does not. And,
you sail, wow.
And James, so I took James sailing.
Yeah.
And he doesn't much care for the water. I think he would not mind me saying that. And I said, well, why do you want to tell this story? Because the ocean is such a big character. And he said, you know, I'm also not happy with heights, but I made Man on Wire. And I think that what I loved about his process is that made him very conscious of the ocean as a character, and to be in that big, scary expanse all by yourself with a really horrible secret is a nightmare.
Yeah, it is.
Life must be lived. So the question becomes, what can you do to give it all meaning?
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.